Is college worth it anymore? And the demand for Ferrari supercars illustrates the widening divide. Today, I read an interesting article on ZeroHedge.com, written by Tyler Durden, likely a pseudonym for writers at Zero Hedge, titled Zero Cancellations. Ferrari stock races higher amid hot demand for supercars despite tariffs. According to the author, while most global car companies, even Tesla, are suspending guidance, cursing tariffs for plunging demand, and barely treading water at a time when Chinese dumping of its own cars has flooded the European market with ultra-cheap alternatives, while Democrats in the U.S. have sworn to never again buy anything from Elon Musk, one car company stands above all others. Shares of Italian supercar maker Ferrari rose over 1% and was trading not far from its all-time high. One section of this article that really hits home as to why Ferrari is immune to what is happening with tariffs is when the author said, if you can pay $300,000 for a car, you will be just as likely to pay $400,000. My friends, there are some super wealthy people who have so much money they are pretty much insulated from anything impacting the rest of the world. Some have so many assets and pricey personal property that it's hard to even put a number on their net worth. In fact, some have no clue what their own stuff is worth. I'll share a perfect example with you. I know of an older guy who had an art connoisseur visit his mansion. He was shocked to look down at the floor in a room and see a rare antique worth several $100,000 being used as a doorstop. The house was full of items like that, and to the owner, this rare antique was just like something that a normal person would have laying around. While the rich get richer, the number of working poor who are suffering continue to increase. The middle class is eroding here in America, and I don't see that getting better anytime soon. Here's what's crazy to me. Ferrari sold 3,593 vehicles recently, according to this article. When I think of Ferrari, I think of something that is really limited production. That's just not the case anymore. Compare that to the iconic Lamborghini Countach from the 1970s and 1980s. They only produced about 2,000 Lamborghini Countach during a 16-year production run from 1974 to 1990. I once strolled into a Highline dealer and looked at a few cars. I looked at a Countach, a 1987 500 SL with about 5,000 miles on it, and a 1995 Dodge Viper with a few thousand miles on it. When I was talking to the owner of the dealership, he said he would never buy a Ferrari again. He told me about the insane cost of maintenance and how they need constant work. He once had an NFL player who wanted to trade in a Ferrari. He said he wanted to get the car inspected by Ferrari before he would consider taking the trade-in. The car had super low miles. The inspection revealed the car needed tens of thousands of dollars in repairs. Some of those cars need the engine removed to do basic maintenance that is a lot easier on a normal car. If I was going to buy a supercar, I'd much rather buy an old Lamborghini Countach than a modern Ferrari. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, "For those that care, Hot Wheels got the Ferrari license back after 11-year hiatus. The new castings are about to hit, and collectors and resellers will be going nuts for them." Another commenter said, "I guess the ultra-rich really don't care about sustainability since Ferrari doesn't make electric." The next commenter said, "As they say, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And you better be pretty well off the first time you need an oil change." The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, "So the super rich aren't price sensitive. Who would have thought?" Well, my friends, the commenters always have interesting things to say. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on zerohedge.com, written by Tyler Durden, titled The College for All Fallacy. According to the author, for years, would-be higher education reformers have warned that America's higher education crisis, soaring tuition, crippling student debt, and weak learning was rooted in a dangerous myth. Every high school graduate should go to college. Now get this. A Wall Street poll found 56% of Americans now believe degrees aren't worth the cost, up from 40% a decade ago. Here are my thoughts. There was a time here in America when some colleges were affordable. You could work as you went. I did that while working on my Ph.D. Tuition was a lot more affordable back then, and I went to a prestigious R1 university. Back then, there were basic dorms without air conditioning. The rooms had vinyl composition tiles, concrete block walls, and mattresses that were more like a thin cot. Nowadays, there are residence halls with luxury vinyl, fancy furniture, and pill-top mattresses. And some of the common areas have all types of amenities. Of course, they all have air conditioning too. This is all great, but you have to pay for it. Some state schools will set you back around $100,000 for a 4-year degree after room and board, tuition, books, and supplies. If you change your major and prolong your stay, you will have to pay even more. There are a lot more people graduating with a college degree now. The problem is, a lot of job postings want experience. It is hard for some young people to secure good employment in their field after graduation. The key word is good. Please understand, I'm not discouraging anyone from going to college. I just think people need to understand a degree is not a golden ticket to fame and fortune. You need to pick a major that will allow you to secure employment in a field that will be in demand in the future, and a field that won't be replaced by AI. Some people don't give any consideration to doing this. They graduate with a major that isn't going to help them find a good job. Some end up living at home with their parents after graduation. Maybe some of you watching this video know people in this situation. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, "During the last 10 years of my teaching career in a middle school, there were 2 mandates coming down from on high. No child left behind, and every student will be put on a college track of courses regardless of ability, and said student will go to college. You could not reason with the people in charge. They did not listen to reason." The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, "When I went to college in the 1970s, I looked around at the freshmen in my dorm and thought, 80% of these guys do not belong in college. I was not wrong. 90% never graduated, despite majors in art or forestry." I'm going to chime in about that last comment. I was an RA in the dorms during my undergraduate experience, and I watched a lot of young men go out partying just about every night of the week. I had to do rounds every 2 hours late into the evening. Many of these guys strolled in around 2 or 3 a.m. I wondered how they were doing all of this and still maintaining their grades. After Christmas break, about 2/3 of the hallway was empty in the dorm because they all flunked out. It was a sad sight to see young men waste that kind of money. Maybe some of you saw this firsthand too. If you did, tell me about it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.